In this tutorial, we're going to start with setting up your org in Lightning Experience. We've already actually covered all this, but for the sake of going along with Trailhead, I'm going to do this short video. And I'm also going to say one quick thing if you're following along with my videos, that the videos are going to get shorter, more concise, and they're going to start going along with Trailhead now that we're getting into some more specific, more advanced features. We're not just creating objects and fields anymore, and I'm going to assume that you understand what CRMs are for and that kind of thing now. So yeah, I'm just going to start assuming that you know some basic things. If you don't, and you want me to make more videos on some past things that you don't think I covered well enough, leave a comment and asking me to do so, and I'll do that. All right, so here we are in setup in our Trailhead, and oh shoot. Okay, so here we are. We're in our admin beginner trail, and we are in Lightning Experience customization. So what I meant in the intro was that I'm gonna start doing a video for each one of these little snippets, because we're gonna cover each one of these in about 5 to 8 minutes, hopefully. It's just going to be real quick, and then you're going to be able to go back and reference the video if you need a refresher on each one of these. So if you forget how to create list views, or when we get to reviewing for the exam, you are like, oh, I need to remember how to create list views. I need to brush up on the customized list views video. Or same thing with record highlights, compact layouts, record details, page layouts, custom buttons and links, and quick actions, and so on. And then we'll do the same thing for, we'll start doing the same thing for each module pretty much, unless there's some overlap, and I'll let you know if there is. But for this video, this tutorial, we're just going to cover the set up your org. And this one's going to be real quick. So if you check out these learning objectives, we've already covered all this stuff. We've already described the value of custom objects and fields. We already know how to create custom objects and fields, and we already know how to create a tab for custom objects and fields. So go ahead and read through this if you want the practice. Go ahead and do what it says. I think it's just a question. Okay, so create the energy audit custom object and its custom tab. So the best way to learn how to do this stuff in Salesforce is practice. So I recommend setting up a dummy org or creating your own org from scratch for a hypothetical business that you are thinking of. And just come up with one in your community that you think Salesforce would apply to or would be good for, or make it apply to it. And then you can even use that on your resume. Be like, hey, I set up this org from scratch. That's what I did, and I got a job that way. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this drill. So it says create the energy audit custom object and its custom tab. Okay. Does it tell us to use a certain type of icon? Those are records. Energy audit. Okay, so it tells us to use this little sun tab. So let's go over to our setup. And here we are, Object Manager. And create custom object. And so when you're creating custom objects and custom fields and whatnot, you might be thinking, if you're a beginner, that this is going really fast, and especially when I start creating fields, but you start to realize that when you're creating objects and their respective fields, you usually have a list of what to do. I'm not just thinking of all this stuff in my head right out as I'm going along. This happens to be a list going along with Trailhead. They have a list down here. It says create the energy audit account, and then it has a list of fields, what their field type should be, what their label should be, and what the parameters should be. So you would usually have notes of some sort as you're thinking about this in your head. If you're designing custom objects and fields and relationships for an org you're working in or someone else's org, you usually take notes on a piece of paper. At least I do. I like to scribble some notes out, draw some lines, and draw some potential fields I'd like to put in to best organize the data. And then once I have a pretty good rough draft, I go ahead and I build it in Salesforce. So I got my list of all the field types, the labels, the parameters, and things like that. And then I do a rough draft. And then after I do a rough draft, I use it as someone would use it. I would create records for that object. I would check out the relationships and see how they work. And as I run into problems, as I'm playing the part, wearing the shoes of the end user who would actually be using this stuff, I am taking notes on all the little adjustments I need to make. Okay, so that's my little spiel about that. I got distracted. All right. So energy audit tab style. It says we want to create the sun. So let's look for the sun. Boom, boom, boom. All right, there it is. Boom, sun. Next. Remember just to skip next through all these things. I'm also going to start assuming you're watching in full screen and that you have a general idea of where I'm going and what I'm doing. Okay, so now we need to create fields on this energy audit object. We created the energy audit object. Now we need to create these fields. So let's just go ahead and hit new and check out over here what types of fields it wants us to make. So lookup relationship to account. So boom, just pick the lookup relationship, go to next. It's related to the account like it says. Click next, and it said to always require a value. So check this box for required, and then just hit next and next and next and save. Okay. Now, currency, we need this average annual electric cost. I'm just going to copy this so I can paste it in here. So, new field of type currency, and just hit next. Field label, annual electric cost, and it said to make the length 16 and the decimal places 2. It says it right there. Length, decimal places. All right, and it says to put this in the help text and to always require a field. So go ahead and paste that in there, always require a field. And hit next, and hit next, and save and new. And this will just shoot us right back into creating another field. And this one's going to be a number. It's going to be annual usage kilowatt hours. So we'll go ahead down here, select the number field type, go to next, put this label in here, and it says put this in the help text and always require. So put that in the help text and check the box for required. And hit next, and hit next, and hit save and new. So we got one more field to create, I believe. So you can see now how it goes pretty fast. You usually list out the objects you want first. I didn't even look. Text area long. Okay. You list out the fields you want first, and then you go back, and it's really easy to create them when you've already got the list. Boom. Audit notes. So, yeah, audit notes. Number of visible lines 5. And next. And next. And save. Okay, so I think that was the last one it wants us to create. Dun, 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 dun. Create 5 custom fields as outlined in the unit. I think we only created 4 right there. That's only 4. What was the last one? Let's see. Type of installation. Okay. And it's going to be a pick list with these values. So okay. So we need one more field. It's going to be a type pick list. And just go to next. And it's going to be called installation, type of installation. type of installation. Enter values. This gives us the option to put in our own values for this pick list. Custom design it. So rooftop, carport, and ground mounted. Rooftop, carport, ground mounted. And it said to always use the first value as the default value. So that'll just make it the rooftop the default. Okay, and hit next, and hit next. Let's make sure it didn't tell us to do anything else. Okay, looks good. Save. And now we can check the challenge and it should be complete. Hooray! Alright, so in the next unit, we will cover this create and customize Lightning apps. So here we are, we just created this one. In the next episode, we'll create and customize Lightning apps. Alright, thanks for watching. Okay, so I also wanted to go over real quick, I forgot to go over that this is what we just created. We created the energy audit object, and then I just clicked create new energy audit. And these are all the fields that we just created. So we created this lookup to accounts. We created this energy audit name field. We created this average annual electric cost. That was the currency field we created. This was the number field we created, and we made them required. That's why they have the asterisks. And we created this audit notes. And we also created this pick list field with our options here. So just wanted to go over that real quick and see you in the next episode.